Knights battle a Shark tonight. Discover card key matchup. Learn more. Discover.com/credit scorecard. Limitations apply. Even if you're not a Discover customer, get your free credit scorecard today. Doug Gottlieb, Katino Mobley, TJ Hushmanzada, where Colin was right, where Colin was wrong on a Monday. Well, the Big Ben story today, somebody claiming 4 years ago that he fumbled intentionally during a game to spite the offensive coordinator is pretty damning, to say the least. Kind of a jaw-dropping claim. I don't think I've ever heard that. You have to go back to like the 50s and 60s and Paul Hornung or, that whole Green Bay thing, guys suspended, just odd. But I thought in our best to last today, there are 10 quarterbacks for different reasons that are going to face real scrutiny this year beyond just winning games. So let's go our best for last.
After almost 3 hours, Colin apparently hasn't gotten to the point yet. Quit holding out on us, cowherd. It's the best for last.
In ascending order of pressure this year, number 10, Lamar Jackson.
Number 10.
Okay, Joe Flacco's gone. Bro, it's your franchise. Also, he only threw for over 200 yards once, 204 yards. So this league is not about just throwing on third down. It's the ability to throw when everybody knows you're throwing on first down. Now, everybody's got a year of tape on Lamar, an off season to digest a very contrarian run-first offense. Baltimore likes him, but we'll find out more about Lamar Jackson, number 10.
Number 9.
Similarly, Mitch Trubisky. I've compared him often to Lamar. Never going to be a great thrower. I felt when Chicago lost that playoff game, there was a palpable sense that Matt Nagy had done everything he possibly could, smoke and mirrors, to elevate Mitch Trubisky, who is a limited arm talent. He's entering his third season. So's Patrick Mahomes and Deshaun Watson, and they are carrying teams. Mitch Trubisky, 9.
Number 8.
Dak Prescott. Listen, I'd have him higher on the pressure list, but Jerry likes him. It's a contract year. Cole Beasley's gone. Offensive line's not as dominant as it was. They still need tight end help. He's got a new offensive coordinator, Kellen Moore, and a new quarterback coach, John Kitna. Not too much pressure, though, because Jerry loves him. Jerry's going to sign him. It's all now about the number.
Number 7.
Jameis Winston, a really talented knucklehead who's always getting in trouble, college and pro. Nice arm, good size, move a little. Bruce Arians now is his coach. Well, Bruce Arians' coach, Carson Palmer, it worked. Big Ben at work. Peyton Manning at work. And Andrew Luck. Everywhere Bruce Arians goes, the quarterbacks have great years. Okay, so now he's got Jameis Winston. And this is a Bucs offense. There's all sorts of players here. I mean, Mike Evans is a stud. You don't watch him play a lot because he plays for Tampa. But I think there's real pressure on Jameis Winston. If he can't work with Bruce Arians and tear it up, they're going to move off him because he's just had too many incidents off the field.
Number 6.
Derek Carr. I'm not sure Gruden loves him. I like him. I'm not sure John Gruden does. Now you got Antonio Brown. Raiders went 4-12. Now, the good news for him, he completed 69% of his throws. He and Gruden, for all the complaining, were actually pretty good together last year. He had over 4,000 passing yards, 69% completions. But there is a sense now, okay, I got you Antonio Brown. I got you another receiver from the Chargers. I'm John Gruden. If you want to be a franchise guy, you got to light it up a little. I've said I think Derek Carr is very similar to Tony Romo. Probably not a Hall of Fame talent, but there are days when he's really good, and there's no way in the world I'd trade him. There's no way in the world. There's not a guy in college that's as good as him that I see next couple of years.
Number 5.
Jimmy Garoppolo. First of all, he's been hurt twice. So one more injury, and you got to be honest about this. Kyle Shanahan and John Lynch are going to have a meeting, and they're going to be thinking, did we pick the wrong guy? He's in year 2 of a massive contract, and last year he got paid, didn't play. So the downside to making all that money, 5 years, $138 million, is you got to win games for us. Now, I like him. I think he's a really talented guy. In fact, I think this is what the Bears would hope Mitch Trubisky is, but he's not. Garoppolo's got a real arm. And I said a couple of years ago, if the Patriots would have moved off Brady, I would have totally understood it. But there's some pressure on this dude. He's getting paid a fortune, and he can't stay on the field.
Number 4.
Kirk Cousins. Second year of a 3-year, $84 million deal. Chicago Bears now have a better roster. The Green Bay Packers have massively elevated their defensive team in free agency. And Kirk's got to win big games. I mean, Kirk is 5-13 in primetime games. It's like, Kirk, we love you. And it's funny. Kirk is, kind of the classic guy. Well, you can win a bunch of games with Kirk. You may be able to even win your division with Kirk. But when you're paying a guy $84 million at that position, it's not about winning your division. You got to put playoff wins up. You got to win those big TV games. A lot of pressure on him, number 4.
Number 3.
Aaron Rodgers. He's 35. He's the best quarterback talent, maybe the last 7 or 8 years. Now, Patrick Mahomes now, maybe the next Aaron. But I think Aaron's the highest paid player in the game now. And with that means you can't pay for a lot of other things. But the Packers did a very good job to elevate their defense in free agency. Now, they didn't spend a fortune, but Preston Smith's a good player. Surprised Washington let him go. He's got a new head coach, Matt LaFleur, and listen, when you get the coach run out of town, and let's be honest, that's what it felt like. Well, the downside of that is, if this doesn't work, if they finish second or third, now everybody's going to point at the quarterback and not the coach.
Number 2.
I love Carson Wentz, but there's a reality. He's been called out by teammates. He went 5-6. The Eagles went 5-6 with Wentz and 5-2 with Foles. And the stories that came out is Nick was more coachable and more adaptable to coaching. Wentz is a super talent. He's also been hurt twice. So you get into that thing with he and Garoppolo. If you get hurt a third time, I'm sitting there, if I'm Howie Roseman, I got to draft another quarterback. I mean, you just can't put your franchise, and I think Wentz is going to be a home run. I think he's going to end up, he and Patrick Mahomes are the 2 most talented young quarterbacks to me. Patrick in the AFC, Carson in the NFC. The difference is Mahomes hasn't been hurt, and Mahomes got to the NFC Championship, and Mahomes absolutely elevates his teammates. To this point, we don't know if Carson Wentz does.
Number 1.
Has to be Ben. I mean, it's just too much smoke, too many stories. A purposeful fumble, AB, Le'Veon Bell, Mike Tomlin. This, by the way, is his last year of the contract. He'll be an unrestricted free agent after that. Now, I'm not saying they would move off him because I think the Rooney's hold him in pretty high esteem. But you do get to a point with Big Ben that it starts to become kind of his legacy. Like, I always try to think, what will we be saying 20 years from now? Will you be saying this? Ben won a Super Bowl. It's just so much drama. And the reason he's not blank, 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 he just was a lousy leader. Now, Ben could change that this year. If Ben has a great year, and then you're like, well, maybe those stories, that wasn't really, that fumble was, But if he has another bad year, he starts getting defined by the bad stuff and not the Super Bowl. And I think that's where Big Ben is at. Car shopping can be confusing. Here's our list, by the way. Ben, Wentz, Rodgers, Cousins, Garoppolo, Carr, Jameis, Dak, Mitch Trubisky, Lamar. To me, the facing, by the way, did you notice who I didn't put?
Yeah, where's Baker?
I don't think he faces any pressure.
What do you mean?
Baker was very good as a rookie.
Right.
It's Cleveland.
Right.
I don't think there's any question they'll win games this year. You can argue it's a declining division. I could have easily put a ton of pressure on Baker Mayfield. But I thought Baker had a very, very good rookie year. It surpassed expectations. And he's well-liked. He is overachieved. If Baker came out and they went, let's just say, 9-7, you couldn't really clobber him, could you? I mean, can we be honest about this? Cleveland finished in third. Can we stop thinking Odell Beckham makes them the Patriots?
Well, I don't think anybody thinks that he makes them the Patriots, but I definitely think there's added pressure on them.
All
this
right,
year.
so you do. See,
I would knock Kirk down a few.
Kirk Cousins?
Yeah, and I'd probably take Mitch out as well. But I think Baker definitely has, at the very least, expectations.
Maybe I was trying, you know what? It's a new leaf. Maybe I was trying to be fair.
Oh.
It's the new me. Fair. Now, that can't be true because I went after Westbrook today.
Yeah, that's true.
Kenyon Martin tomorrow. NFL division predictions post-free agency. I'll tell you who I think is going to win all the divisions tomorrow. post-free agency, car shopping, it's confusing. Dealer price, list price, invoice, a lot of terms. Here's what's not confusing. Save $3,000 on average off MSRP. Yeah, so I'm watching that Laker Nick thing, and I'm watching all that Walt Frazier stuff. Man, my two takeaways from the weekend are I would have never guessed ever that it would have been this bad for LeBron. It is a complete and utter lost season. It's Andrew Luck's lost season. It's shocking. Yesterday, Walt Frazier took shots at LeBron being at the end of the bench. A legend taking on a legend. Listen.
When you're the face of the NBA,